Okay, go.
All right. Hey, it's Slider back here at Slang Fest in Danville, Illinois. Right now, we have a young lady who actually did the national anthem on a violin to kick things off tonight. How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
And you said you're from Oklahoma?
Yep, Moore, Oklahoma.
And how did you get to be the violinist to come here to start things off here?
Through Rich Treadwell.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
you know Rich too?
Yes.
Okay. Are you in another band or?
I have my own band, the Erica James Band.
Oh, okay. And what kind of music is that?
It's kind of like kind of a rock, instrumental rock with a Celtic gypsy edge,
Okay.
contemporary, just kind of like all mixed together.
Okay. Well, we'll
Yeah.
talk about that in a little bit since I'm a rock station. So
Awesome.
So we'll talk about that. But you're in the National Guard there. You're a truck driver. How long have you been in?
Oh gosh, probably about 7-8 months now.
Oh,
coming up on 7 or 8 months.
Oh, so you're just like a
I'm new,
newbie.
yes.
You're a newbie.
I am a baby.
Oh my goodness. What made you go into the National Guard and not go active?
Well, because of music. I'm busy.
Okay.
I'm busy with music. Going into the National Guard was because of my son. He's better now, but he was sick, and
Okay.
so that's what kicked it off, and fell in love with it. from
Okay.
that point.
How old is he?
He's 8.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the violin, is that the only instrument you play or do you play others?
I'm a multi-instrumentalist. The electric violin's my go-to, my
Okay.
primary. I really enjoy it a lot. It's I kind of wanted to hack the violin, if you will, take it away from its traditional expected sounds and move more into that like heavy rock metal sound and try to do a lot of the same things that you see a lot of guitarists doing. So bringing in the 5-string I thought would be pretty cool because you got the viola and violin all in one, so you can
Right.
get that lower sound and then your high screeching screaming sounds, and plugging it up to some pedals and stuff. It's totally cool.
So you have it into pedals too, huh?
I am working on getting a pedal system put together
Okay.
as we speak. Yeah.
Check out, have you heard of the band Earn?
It sounds familiar.
They have a violinist.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And she is, I mean, incredible.
Incredible?
Yes, it's
I will
just-
check her out.
Yeah, they just played in Chicago last weekend.
Oh,
and I
wow.
went to and interviewed them and talked to them and watched them play, and she's got a gorgeous violin.
Wow.
It's a Flying V.
Oh, Flying V, Mark Wood violin. Or not, yeah, Mark Wood. I love
And
Mark
it's,
Wood.
And it's just, and she has it hooked up to 2 pedals that she doesn't really use too much, but she does have it hooked up to pedals.
That's
so
awesome.
You got to check it out. It's really,
That's
it's,
one I'm working on getting is a Flying V. Those are badass.
Oh, yeah, and it's like a red, like a blood red type. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just gorgeous.
That's awesome. They get up to 7 strings. That's what
Oh
I'm.
my God.
That's what I'm shooting for is a 7-string electric Flying
You got
V.
little hands. Can you use that?
I got to play around with one, but it had frets on it, so it made it a little.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, okay, we got to do away with the fret thing. Give me the 7 strings, take the frets. Keep that.
So, have you always been into music? I mean, your whole life?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What did you start with?
Violin's what I started with, believe it or
Okay.
not. My dad was in a band, and I went with him to all of his shows. His were more contemporary Christian art,
Okay.
Christian music, and then kind of went into more of contemporary sound. And then he gave me my violin when I was 12. Had that violin, I was scared to touch it for like the first year, terrified of it. And then once I got my hands on it, I started playing, and he wanted to take it away from me so bad. It
Really?
sounded terrible. He said it was the worst, but he said I played 7 to 8 hours a day. I would just lock myself in my room and play, and then one day it was like a light bulb went off, and then he loves telling the story about when the Peanut Festival came along, and I signed us up to play at the National Fiddlers Championship Association, and he's like, Erica, you're not ready. I was like, they said we could play. And so, long story short, we got up there with the 2.5 songs we knew,
Yeah.
and looped the half song to make it like a third song. And when they came to at the end of the deal, I made first place, and my
Really?
dad was like blown away. But at that point is when I knew I wanted to be a performer.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't know what possessed me to want to get up on stage in front of everybody, but
Yeah.
from that point I was in love, and the stage is where I wanted to stay.
So, what was the next instrument? Did you pick up a guitar?
Cello.
A cello.
Yeah, I took on the cello, and then viola was pretty easy because I already knew the violin,
Right.
so kind of the same deal. Then I started playing the guitar and the piano, and
Okay.
from that point I could just hear I can't read music, so I'm all ear.
Okay.
So I guess at that point, being able to just see how a person holds the instrument or like the basic foundations of that instrument, I could pick it up and then just hear what the notes were and just pick it up from that point.
Oh, that's cool. And okay, so now your band, you the obviously lead vocals in that band.
We are introducing vocals. I do now have a.
Oh, that's right. You said it was instrumental, but
Mm-hmm.
you are introducing vocals into?
Yes, we already have a single out called Ghost, and it's on the website ericajameslive.com.
Okay.
And so that's just kind of a preview of what's to come as far as vocals. We've now got 4 vocals, so I should be looking at going in and recording my EP for long and have 4 new vocal songs.
So why just instrumental? Why did you just do instrumental at first? Is it just something that you wanted to do with all the music, or did you want to get other people involved? How did that work?
Yeah, I was listening to a lot of Steve Vai and Yngwie Malmsteen.
Of course.
And so, yes. And so Yngwie Malmsteen was like my favorite growing up. And then, of course, on top of that, totally different realm, Natalie McMaster, she's a Celtic fiddle player. And so at that point, I guess it's just kind of I developed my own style. But I've always loved that sound. And like Buckethead, listen to all that. And that's the stuff I want to do on the violin. Because it's just very rare. You don't really hear too much violinists doing anything like that.
Right.
And so I think that's what pulled me into instrumental rock and just being able to, make the violin the vocals, I guess, if you will, and just more of a standout instrument. But now I've had so many people say, you need to sing, you need to be singing, and you need to do a song. It's like, okay, I'll try it. And so everybody loved it. And so now I've got 4 additional songs that.
Oh, that's good.
So we should have an EP. I've already got enough material for a full-length album, but I'm just going to shoot the EP first.
Well, start something, and then, you got to get some feelers out there because you're changing
styles too. It's just going to be a complete change.
So what is the vocals going to be like? Is it going to be a melodic rock? Is it going to be
kind of like a melodic rock, I guess, if you will. It'll have it won't be anything like screaming or anything like that.
Right.
Not to that point yet. But yeah, I do have some other groups have actually called me in to record some vocal tracks for them. And so I'm actually working on one right now in the studio for a gentleman. His name is Andrew Lyon, and he has a song that he has me singing. And I actually laid the violin tracks a year ago for that song.
Oh my God, a year ago.
A year ago. He's still working on the same song. And so I guess he was looking for a vocalist, and he's like, hey, I heard your sample or your Ghost single.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want you in. And so went in, and now on Monday I got to be back in the studio for the final part of it. So
is that in Oklahoma too?
that is in Oklahoma.
Oh,
It is in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma.
Middle of
middle of nowhere. Middle of fucking nowhere, Oklahoma.
Just nowhere, huh?
Just middle of nowhere. Yes.
Yeah, I drove through Oklahoma just briefly on my way to Amarillo once, and so I've driven through before when I was stationed at Fort Hood, but
nice.
I went to visit one of my buddies from Desert Storm, and he lived in Amarillo at the time. He lives in San Antonio, which is I can't get a hold of him right now because there's no power or nothing. So
it's pretty bad over there.
Yeah, it's really bad. So, but yeah, I drove through Oklahoma, and it was just like, I just drove through real quick, and by the time I knew it, my kids and I were in Texas, and we were, right outside of Amarillo, and my kids were little at the time. They're 21 and 20 now, and yeah, they were. My daughter, she was like 10. She was like, Dad, it's hot in Texas. I'm like, yeah,
That's
baby,
the biggest thing I hear.
Yeah, I was like, yes, it is, man. Yeah, very hot. So, but so what's next for you? The EP. Are you going to be doing any shows? Or are you going to? What's going on?
I'm going to try to stay local and then try to do kind of like what I did with Rich here. Fill in with other bands and stuff like that. Up until. Once my EP is released, I'll do a release party, of course. And then at the point that I start, towards the end of my album, I'll start planning a tour from that point.
Okay.
Like closer to the ending of my full-length album.
Okay.
So this will be my 4th full-length album.
4th full-length, so you have 3 instrumentals?
One of them that has vocals when I first started was at the studio where Toby Keith recorded at BGM Bill Green Music Productions in San Antonio, Texas. I was 15. We did One Body, which is a Christian rock band. My dad and I wrote all the music for that.
Okay.
And all those are vocals. I just did the instrumentation, of course, at that time. I didn't do any vocals
Oh,
on
you didn't
that
sing
one.
on that
We
one?
had other vocalists that came in and did
Okay.
it. And then Ode to a Gypsy is my second album, which is all instrumental acoustic.
Okay.
It's got percussion, bass, violin, and guitar. That's pretty much the extent of that one. That's my best seller. I'm
Okay.
sold out right now of that one.
But can they get downloads though? Can you still get downloads?
Yeah, you should be able to find them on iTunes and SoundHound and all your
All the other downloads.
all of it down. And then Tempest is my current. Tempest Coming Full Circle, that's my current one. I did that at Bobby Flores' studio, Bulverde Music Academy. He also owns the music school over there. But Bobby
Okay.
Flores, he plays for Ray Price and Vince Gill and has his own studio, and that's where I did Tempest.
Okay.
And so now I'm actually looking for my single I did at Graham Colton. I don't know if you're familiar with Graham Colton. He's a pretty renowned guy signed by Sony. He's more like kind of country, contemporary country
Okay.
sound. And then I'm currently looking for a studio for my next album. I want to go somewhere like local or try
Yeah.
someone else out and see how they do.
Local where you live in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or just through somebody that, one of my friends may know, and just kind of try to go through like one of the connections that I may have.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
You always have connections.
I want to try somebody new this time, see what they got. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I can tell you, everybody's got to start somewhere, and if you
Right.
get somebody that has a good ear for it, he's brand new, he might surprise you by doing one hell of a job.
Right. I'm a full firm believer in, this guy may be new, but he might be better than this guy that's been doing it 40 plus years.
Yes,
Each
exactly.
person's different, and so I want to go with the person that's going to have the better ear, better sound, and come up with the better ideas that can be a real true engineer,
Yeah.
and love the art in it and everything. So
Well, you are more than welcome to send us all the music you have.
Awesome.
Anything instrumental. I mean, I have other bands actually from other countries that are instrumental. It doesn't matter as long as it's some sort of rock music, we'll play it.
I got you hooked up.
I have no problem with that. And also get me Ghost.
Awesome, will do.
Because every Friday I do a new to you show, and I play all new bands, new music from bands that I've had. So it's all new music. It's just
Awesome.
I usually play like 3 or 4 from the week prior, and then we get into the what's going on,
Awesome.
the other new bands now. So yeah, we'll get you into that, and then you'll be in full rotation, and we'll get you out to all the other DJs, and we'll get you going.
I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah, I mean, we push everybody as much as we can. I mean, we really do. I mean, I have thousands of bands that we try and push every week, so we do what we can. So
Awesome.
we try and help.
I love it.
So, but your website again is,
EricaJamesLive.com.
and you can get everything except that one album, right?
No, everything should be available. Everything should
okay.
be available. We're Ode to a Gypsy. That's the one where I gotta wait to come back in from the manufacturer.
Okay.
To get more copies.
But they can
That's-
order it
They can
still.
order it. They can pre-order it, and then as soon as I get the copies in from the manufacturer, it'll be sent right out to them.
Okay. All right. So everything's there.
Right.
And you heard it. Check her out. She's a great violinist. She did the national anthem. She's awesome. And she's a veteran, so you better support her because I'll come looking for you. So,
Appreciate
all right. Well, you sticking around for the rest of the night? Checking out
I will
all the
be here
bands?
for a while.
For a
yes,
while?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping it wraps up soon so we can go watch the fight.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I got to go see that fight. That's just, I'm a big
Gonna be killer.
I'm a big McGregor fan.
Uh-oh.
I've always the guy is just awesome. I love watching him fight in the octagon. So
That's
boxing is just it just faded away. It just kind of there's nothing like we had in the 70s and the 80s, and now it's just like. Psh,
Right.
So I hope he beats his ass. I'm not saying.
I hope he
that. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Okay. But all right. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Good meeting you.
And thank you for taking out time and coming up and
Thank
doing
you.
the interview. And check her out. Website, Facebook too.
Yes, Facebook.com/Erica James Foster.
Erica James Foster. There you go. All right. We'll see you back here at Slingfest in just a little bit. Asgard Radio.